Good evening, all of you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this PSIR workshop. Good evening, online students. Welcome all of you to this PSIR workshop. So, students, as you all must are very well aware, that in your civil services preparation, one very important decision which you have to make is that you have to choose an optional paper, and this can be a make or break choice because optional is worth 500 marks, and if you score good marks in the optional paper, then your probability of getting your name into that final list exponentially increases. So it's a very important choice which you have to make, that which optional paper you have to take up. And I know all of you, and many of you keep on coming and meeting us, asking doubts about the optional paper. So we've all decided to hold an optional workshop here with you. So we today having an optional workshop on political science and international relations. Both of us, we are faculties. We teach PSIR optional in the institute. Myself, Iqbal Singh, and my esteemed colleague, Dr. Sushant Verma. We take your PSIR classes. So we will have a 2.5 hour workshop with you right now today, where we'll discuss PSIR optional details with you, so that we can help you make a reasoned choice, a rational choice regarding the optional paper. There may be many doubts which you may have. For example, what is the PSIR syllabus? What is the nature of the subject? What strategy you should follow to cover PSIR optional? What kind of questions are asked? What reading materials you should refer to? Whether the paper is static or it is dynamic, and if it is dynamic, how to cater to that, and how the optional paper is taught in the institute here. So many such queries you may be having, which we would like to address in this workshop. So a detailed workshop we'll have. It will be divided into different sections. So initially, Sushant sir, he will have a brief discussion with you to help you know how PSIR optional has a lot of overlapping with the GS papers and the essay papers. So whatever overlapping is there, Sushant sir will discuss with you. Then he will also have a brief discussion with you on the syllabus of PSIR paper 1. And then he will also teach you a topic from PSIR paper 1, just a brief discussion topic he will discuss with you, so that you just get to know what kind of topics are there, and a PYQ discussion also he would do. Then I would have a discussion with you on the important features of the classroom PSIR classroom program we have here. And then I will discuss with you PSIR paper 2 syllabus, and again a topic discussion also we will do. And finally, we will open up the floor for Q&A session. Whatever queries you would have, we will like to entertain your queries and questions also. So this long workshop, we will have detailed, comprehensive workshop in order to help you in whatever manner we can. Okay, clear to all of you? Fine. So you ready for the workshop, all of you? So let's begin the workshop, students. And you all must have got these handouts. So these, it has all the materials, whatever we're going to discuss with you today. So we can use that also. Online students also, I believe it is uploaded for all of you. There are certain handouts we will use regarding the syllabus and certain topics of the paper. They may be there on the portal for you, and you can download that. Okay. So I would now hand over the floor to my colleague, Dr. Sushant, and he will initiate the discussion with you. Once he is finished, then I'll come back and I'll continue the discussion. Clear to all of you? So let's begin, students. Thank you, everybody. Sushant sir, please take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Yes, good evening, all of you. I hope I'm audible now. Online students, yes. And online students, please confirm, do you have access to material? There must be 3 PDF. Is it available online? Okay. Just wait for a few minutes. That will be available online. Now, this is a PSIR optional workshop, and before I start discussing why you should choose PSIR as an optional, okay, the first thing which comes to our mind is which optional should we choose? Okay, and ideally, on the basis of our experience, we generally say that the subjects in which you have graduated, you have familiarity with that subject, and your primary choice should be the subject in which you have graduated, first thing. Second thing is what is called as interest. Interest also plays a very important role, because keep in mind that whichever optional you are choosing, you have to stick with that optional for at least 2 years. Okay, for example, this is 2025. By the time you are appearing, your name appears in the final list, it will be 2 years. Okay. Anyway, I hope you know that if you start now, you will be writing mains next year, and obviously the final selection will be in 2027. So you have to stick with that optional for next 2 years. And what propels you is your ability to work hard combined with the interest and right guidance. Keep in mind, any optional which you choose, basically UPSC asks the questions above graduation level and slightly lesser than master's level. Okay, so it is important that whichever optional you choose, you should have a good knowledge of that optional, and to what depth, that is also important. Keep in mind that you are here to clear the examination and not to become a scholar. Okay, so something called as balance, that what we discuss in Aristotle as a thinker also, that balance is important. Golden mean of Aristotle, that is important. Avoidance of extremes is important. So neither too less, neither too much. A balanced optimum depth of the whichever optional you are choosing is required. Now, third thing is systematic guidance is required. Keep in mind that your time is more precious than us, if I say. So time bound and comprehensive coverage of the syllabus along with right study material, that will help you ace this examination in a better way. So normally the students say that whichever option I chose, I will not able to clear the examination, and I'm going for another optional. Keep that in mind, that it is not the optional which fails the student. It is the student who fail the optional. So every optional, there are certain criteria which you need to observe, which you need to follow. And if you are willing to work hard along with your interest in the right direction, that will help you determine a long way. And keep in mind, good marks in GS can ensure your selection, but a good marks in optional will get you a rank of your choice. So optional, good marks in optional will catapult you into the league of the top rankers. And see any toppers number, you will find optional plays a very decisive role. If you see, each paper of UPSC is of 250 marks, but in optional you have the possibility of scoring around 60% marks also, even more than that, which is not possible in any two GS papers. So optional, a good command over optional is a big guarantee, or I will say it's a big assurance rather, of ensuring your selection in the final list. So whichever option you are choosing, you should make an informed choice, and as Iqbal sir mentioned, reasoned judgment, that should be there. Now we are here to help you assist in that. Now PSIR is one of the most popular optional. If you go to UPSC's website, that will give you, every year UPSC sends a report also to the president, and in that report the breakup of the different students choosing optional is there. And if you see the UPSC report, roughly around 10% of the successful candidates are from PSIR background, and many students are from non-PSIR backgrounds who do well. If you see this year's top rank also, number one, she is also from a non-PSIR background. So your background will definitely assist you, but it is your ability to work hard in a strategic manner that will guarantee your selection. And many students with a non-PSIR background, whether from engineering, whether from commerce, whether from STEM, if I say STEM subjects, they do good in PSIR optional because of their interest, ability to work hard, and second is a good guidance. That what matters. Now, one of the reasons why students choose PSIR as an optional, as I say, it's one of the best performing optional. But apart from that, PSIR has a good overlap with significant portion of GS syllabus. And if you see, every year, at least one essay topic, it comes from PSIR optional. just go and flip through the PYQs of the essay paper. Your good command over PSIR optional will help you easily tackle the questions related to GS. And as all of you are aware, sometimes, in fact, in the past trends have been that UPSC has been asking some philosophical topics as far as the optional is concerned. And many a times, these philosophers are what we have already discussed in the optional. Moving on from GS, let us move to GS paper 1. And all of you have this handout. You can see that, how GS paper has very great convergence with the PSIR syllabus. And for a reference, we have included also the sections. Now, for example, in GS paper 1, if you see, these topics are already, we teach extensively in PSIR paper. Now, if you have the material, the first material of PSIR workshop, now we have, for your ready reference, we've also provided you a syllabus also. Okay, and please come to I think page number 7 of this material. PSI, the material is titled PSI workshop. Okay, and on page number 7, can you see section B of paper 1? It starts with Indian government and politics. Can you see the very first topic? It talks about the freedom struggle. That's what we will be discussing in freedom struggle. Can you see topic number 8 on page number 7? Does it talks about planning and economic development? And as you can see in planning and economic development, what we see is, can you see the last topic mentioned in topic number 8? That is talks about liberalization and economic reforms. And this is what we discuss, effects of globalization on Indian society. So a part of it will be discussed there. Now, can you see communalism, regionalism, and secularism? Can you see political philosophies like communism, capitalism, and socialism? Come to the previous page, page number 6. And page number 6, can you see topic number 8? Political ideologies. And political ideologies, what we'll be discussing in detail. So liberalism, socialism, Marxism, fascism, Gandhism, and feminism. You can see already what is required in GS. We will be reading already in much more detail as a part of PSIR paper. Now coming to GS paper 2. Now entire GS paper 2, excluding some governance and social justice issues, is covered in PSIR paper. In fact, the section B of paper 1 and section B of paper 2, it includes almost your entire GS paper 2 syllabus. So your understanding of PSIR paper will give you an edge as far as GS paper 2 is concerned. You can score very good marks in GS paper 2. Now talking about GS paper 3. Now if you see, again, the effect of liberalization of the economy, changes in industrial policy, that why I have already referred to, and can see land reforms in India and Green Revolution. Again, come to page number 7, topic number 8. Topic number 8, it starts with planning and economic development. Can you see Nehruvian and Gandhian perspective, role of planning and public sector, and is there a topic called Green Revolution and land reforms and agrarian relations? Same thing. So this highlights the interlinkage, and you can see now the role of external state and non-state actors that you will be discussing extensively in GS paper 2. Sorry, in PSIR paper 2. Now come to, if I say, come to page number 10. Come to page number 10. Okay. Now page number 10, there is section B of paper 2. Page number 10. Can you find that? Okay. And see the topic, the third bullet. It talks about India and South Asia. And see in topic D of that bullet, can you see impediments to regional cooperation, river water disputes, illegal cross-border migration, ethnic conflict. Is it what happening in Manipur? Is an example of ethnic conflict, and insurgencies, border dispute. Again, if I say come to page number 7 of the material. Page number 7 of the material. Can you see topic number 9? Does it talks about caste, religion, and ethnicity? So, caste, religion, and ethnicity, that we will be discussing in detail about ethnic conflicts in India. We'll be discussing about secularism in India. As you know, there's a lot of debate going about changes which were made by the emergency regime in Indian preamble, and our vice president has also commented. So, in the entire context, you have to understand what is the role of religion in politics, what is the role of caste in politics, what is the role of ethnicity in Indian politics. So, apart from ethnic conflicts, what is the role of ethnicity? For example, anybody from Northeast India, for example, Assam, the issue of illegal migration is a very contested topic, very debatable, very, I will say, emotive issue in Assam, that how the demography of Assam is changing by illegal migration coming from Bangladesh. So what Assam said, fine, change in CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, you can resettle refugees in any part of the country, not in Assam, because Assam has a special history behind that. So all these we will be discussing in detail. Now come to GS paper 4. It says contributions of moral thinkers and ethical issues in international relations and funding. Now, if I say, just to give you one important topic now, okay, can you come to page number 10? Page number 10, just before section B heading, can you see there is a term, there is a section called contemporary global concerns, and in that, does it includes democracy, human rights, and environment? Now, environment, if I ask you, there was a case of Nestle, an MNC selling baby powder in Africa, and you find that it had carcinogenic content. The same was not sold in European countries and the US market. Why? The quality control is very rigorous there, and in third world countries there is lack of regulation. So is it about doing unethical business, that just for profit you are compromising with the health of people? How many of you consume cold drinks, soft drinks? Raise your hands. Coca-Cola. In 2004, there was a report by Center for Science and Environment about pesticide in cold drinks that created a lot of furor. Even a JPC, Joint Parliamentary Committee, was made. But point is that they would not dare to do the same in US market, because there the regulation is quite tough. The same is issue with environment, and same with, you can say, ethical issues in international relations. Now, if I ask you, was US correct, or did US violate international law while bombing Iran? Recently, you might be aware, Trump said we destroyed Iran's nuclear program, and his intelligence agencies give another assessment. Trump said we obliterated, but Iran nuclear program is alive and kicking still. So was US right in attacking Iran? Ethical issues. So ethical issues that will be looking from different angle. A realist answer would be different. An idealist answer would be different. And international funding. Now, just before, can you see United Nations topic is there? Just before, regionalization of world politics, on page number 10, there's a topic, second topic is United Nations envisaged role and actual record. And what's the last topic? Need for UN reforms. So IMF and World Bank, they're a part of UN family. And you must be aware that how IMF has given bailout packages for Pakistan, for Sri Lanka. This bailout package comes with lot of strings attached, conditionalities, that you do this and this thing, reduce your subsidy, then we will give you funding. Increase your tax base, then we will give you funding. So it is pain for many countries. But who dominates? It is the Western countries. These are ethical issues. Talking about contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers. Now, please come to page number 6 of the material. Please come to page number 6. Can you see there's a topic called political thought? Topic 9 and 10. And topic 9 and 10, can you see there is Indian thinkers and Western thinkers? Topic number 9, Indian thinkers. Can you see Gandhi? Can you see Ambedkar? Can you see Syed Ahmad Khan? Yes. Topic number 10, can you see Plato, Aristotle? Can you see Machiavelli? So what Machiavelli will say? Machiavelli was a realist. If you examine from Machiavelli's eye, he will say, what is politics? Politics is nothing but struggle for power. And whichever action the state takes for fulfilling national interest is justified. Ends justifying the means. What was the end of US? Destroying Iran's nuclear program. And whatever means US took was correct. From a realist perspective, nothing is moral or immoral. What is moral is amoral. Amoralization of politics. Machiavelli was the first person in whose ideas we find secularism coming into play, separation of state and religion. And that's it, secularism has been included as another word in our preamble. So how Indian secularism is different from Western secularism. So these are the importance of these thinkers. So importance of moral thinkers. Come to topic number 3. It talks about justice. And justice, can you see? It says conception of justice with special reference to Rawls's theory of justice. John Rawls is considered as perhaps the greatest political philosopher of 20th century. And UPSC in paper 4 did ask a question on John Rawls. For you, it will be a cakewalk because we discussed John Rawls thoroughly. So obviously a good knowledge, a good command, not knowledge, good command over PSIR paper will help you a lot in GS. There's a great linkage. So this is the why you should choose PSIR, not only because of interest, because of great utility in GS also. That is how PSIR helps you make perhaps develop an edge over other candidates as far as GS is concerned. And if you go to the interview, the final stage, the final hurdle, you'll find that many times questions are asked on current affairs. And one very interesting component of the current affairs is IR, international relations. And with the background in PSIR, you can give a more nuanced answer as compared to the other students. So there is a chance to impress the interviewer also. And many a time, the board members are generally from retired services, including IFS, Indian Foreign Service. With a good command over PSIR, you can impress them and get good marks with your solid reply. Now, having discussed that, let me come to a bit of explanation of the paper. Now, as all of you are aware that any optional paper has two components, paper 1 and paper 2. PSIR, political science and international relations. Political science is in paper 1 and IR is covered in paper 2. I will be discussing about paper 1. Iqbal sir will be discussing about paper 2. Now, if we discuss paper 1, now paper 1 is basically divided into section A and section B. All of you refer to page number 6 and page number 7. On page number 6, it is section A, and page number 7, it is section B of the first handout. I just made you go through that. Okay. Now, for the sake of simplicity, we can divide section A into another topic, which says political thought, and then we can discuss is the concepts and ideologies. Now, political thought. Basically, political thought means what was the idea of a thinker. It is generally said that what Lasky said, every thinker is a child of his time. So, your syllabus talks about two categories of thinkers, it is Indian and Western. And in both Indian and Western, only ancient and modern political thinkers are there. So in ancient, can you see Plato and Aristotle? Topic number 10. And in topic number 9, can you see Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra, and Buddhist tradition? Then we come to modern Western political thinkers, starting with Machiavelli, Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, J.S. Mill, etc. You can see. And in topic number 9, modern Indian thinkers start with Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Gandhi, Ambedkar, M.N. Roy, etc. And sometimes UPSC asks a comparison also between these thinkers, Indian and Western. For example, UPSC has asked the question related to John Rawls justice, Ambedkar social justice comparison. UPSC has asked question related to Machiavelli statecraft and Kautilya statecraft. Kautilya and Machiavelli both are said to be political realist. Political realist because they believe politics has no other purpose. Politics is nothing but struggle for power. And everything is justified in politics as long as it fulfills national interest. So if you compare the two thinkers, both thinkers talked about end justifying the means. Both thinkers talked about that yes, politics is nothing but struggle for power. Both thinkers talked about having a strong army, a strong spy system. James Bond of ancient times. But many when Western scholars, when they compare Kautilya and Machiavelli, they say Kautilya is more brutal realist than Machiavelli. Machiavelli pales into insignificance if you compare Kautilya's brutal realism. What was Kautilya's famous title? The name of his book, Artha Shastra. So Artha Shastra has great administrative detail. In fact, Kautilya once said, it is written in Artha Shastra, that corruption is like having honey on your tongue and not tasting it. Is it possible? Fish swims in water. Can you make out whether fish has drunk water or not? No. So when you become government servants, you will be like fish swimming in waters. Now, have you heard of Tilak's famous statement? Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Ambedkar had said, if Tilak were an untouchable, he would not have said that. Tilak would have said, abolition of untouchability is my birthright and I shall have it. For Ambedkar, freedom from internal tyranny is more important than freedom from external control. What does freedom means to me? If the untouchables continue to suffer the same fate, the curse of untouchability, freedom will mean meaningless. And Ambedkar said, unless India also includes political democracy with socio-economic democracy, democracy will be incomplete. So why we need to study these thinkers? Because their ideas has lot of utility in the current circumstances also. Even now, if you read yesterday's newspaper, there was an article in Hindu that how a Dalit family, if it wants to take out marriage procession on a horse, they are prevented by the upper caste, and that too in UP. So different instances are there. So how caste is, the caste discrimination is still a reality. So Ambedkar's ideas are inspiration. Especially Ambedkar had given a famous statement: agitate, educate, and organize. So what Ambedkar had said, that you have to fight for your rights, and this is still valid even today. So point is that reading the ideas of these thinkers, we can get insights which help us tackle the problems which we confront in our today's life's contemporary period. Now, concepts and ideologies. If you are aware that, I guess you must be familiar with Indian preamble. So the very first word of Indian preamble, what it says? We the people. This talks about popular sovereignty. that in a democracy, who is sovereign? People who are sovereign. The ultimate power lies with the people. Remember Abraham Lincoln's famous statement, democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So in a democracy, people are sovereign. And can you see page number 6, topic number 6 is democracy. So classical and contemporary theories. This term popular sovereignty was given by Rousseau. The concept of popular sovereignty was given by Rousseau. And Rousseau is said to be the main inspiration behind French Revolution. What were the 3 slogans of French Revolution? Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Has these 3 terms been included in our preamble? Yes. I hope you are familiar with Indian preamble. Yes. Liberty, freedom. Equality. There are different kinds of equality. See, topic number 4. Does it talks about equality? And what is the equality says? Social, political, and economic. Indian preamble says, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. And what the preamble promises to its citizens? Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, dignity. Now can you say, is dignity related to equality? Is dignity related to equality? Yes or no? Yes. Are you aware of the famous incident, Gandhi? Gandhi was thrown out of the railway compartment just because of his color of his skin, despite possessing a valid first class ticket. He refused to quit his compartment. The very next session, he was kicked out. That made him realize the problem of racial discrimination. So was it assault on Gandhi's dignity? Yes. Was it denial of Gandhi's right? When can you enter the train? If you have a reservation, the proper valid ticket. Gandhi was a lawyer. He argued that why should I have a ticket with me? Yet he was kicked out. Was it a violation of Gandhi's right? Was it a violation of Gandhi's dignity? Yes. Nowadays there is a term called as consumer right. RTI, right to information. Article 14 of India's constitution says equality before law and equal protection of the law. Does equality mean treating everybody the same? Does equality mean treating everybody the same? No. Equality does not mean equal treatment. It means fair treatment. So I'll give you one simple example. Now, Indian team has 4 category of players: A plus, A, B, and C. A plus 7 crores annual contract, A 5 crores. Then respectively the amount is there. Who's there in A plus? Who was there in A plus? Now was Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, because they were the top performers, including Bumrah. Bumrah was promoted. So do you reward the talent? Do you reward the performance? Yes. So depending on your performance, treat equals equally, unequals unequally. Shall rank 1 be given to the candidate securing equal marks, or shall be the candidate scoring less marks be given rank 1? Tell me. Equality doesn't mean equal treatment. It means fair treatment. Reservation is a policy of empowerment of the weaker section. Social justice. Is justice the topic mentioned in topic number 3? See, justice. Topic number 3, justice. So, India's latest constitutional amendment. Can anybody tell me the number? 106. 106 constitutional amendment gives women reservation of 33%. Why reservation is important? Because women are historically disadvantaged in a patriarchal society like India. Simone de Beauvoir, famous feminist, she said, women are made, they are not born. So becoming women is a process. Like I say, simple example. Everybody present in this class, all boys, you have short hair, including me. I don't have much hair, but still. So you have short hair, but all the girls present in class have long hair. Is it the process of social conditioning? Yes. Who told you to keep long hair? You have been born and brought up in such a way. This is ideology of feminism. Can you see topic number 8, political ideologies? So what is ideologies? Basically a set of ideas or beliefs which justify or criticize an existing system. So ideology of liberalism. Liberalism talks about freedom to an individual. Now, freedom to an individual, freedom of speech and expression. Is speech and expression guaranteed by India's preamble or given by India's preamble? Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Article 19 of India's constitution, the first part of that article, does it gives you freedom of speech and expression? Yes. But does it mean that it is an unrestricted freedom? No. It has to be restricted freedom in the sense that reasonable restriction should be there. So liberty of one shall not become oppression for another. This is what a balance has to be there between individual rights and collective interest. And what is the different take? Different ideologies have different take. Liberalism gives priority to individual. I know what is best for me, let me decide. A socialist will say, no, it is collective interests which matter more rather than interest of the individual. Is socialism a part of India's preamble? Yes. What is socialism? The means of production are under public ownership. So India adopted a mixed economy, private enterprise existing with state enterprise. Directed principle of state policy, do they stand for a welfare state? Yes. What is welfare state? A state which is there to take care of you from cradle to grave. If you do not have money to pay for your education, does the state gives you scholarship? Yes. India has National Food Security Act. So those who cannot pay for their own food, government gives them free grains or at very low price. State coming to help you. And this was basically welfare state started by Beveridge Report 1944 that we will be discussing. So basically these are the political thought concepts and ideologies that we discuss in greater detail. Karl Marx, you must have heard the name of Karl Marx. So Karl Marx said, private property is basically a source of exploitation. And Marx had given a famous statement, workers of all world unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. It was his ideas which were responsible for division of the world into Cold War politics, bloc politics. US camp versus USSR camp. US said private enterprise. Now, a famous billionaire is marrying in Venice. You must be aware. Amazon boss, Jeff Bezos. Has it sparked a debate? It's nothing but vulgar display of wealth. 450 million in a wedding. Imagine $450 million around. So it is private accumulation. Others say that same resource should be owned by the community. So India has adopted democratic socialism. We will bring about socialism in a democratic way. But many question that after 1991, when we adopted new liberal economic reform, state withdrawing from economy, what is the utility of that state? All with these things we will be discussing in detail. So paper 1 talks about political thought as well as concepts and ideologies. Now come to section B. Section B is titled IGP. Can you see on page number 7? What is the topic? It is called about Indian government and politics. Now, one mistake which students do is because of their familiarity with the polity, GS polity, they say that optional is the same. And they go and write the GS answer in optional. That's why they don't get marks. There's a gap between marks which you expect and the actual marks which you get. And this gap is because they use yes approach while writing the optional answer. See, every optional has a specific requirement, and the way you have to approach, especially part B of both the papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Part 2 of part B of paper 2 is Indian foreign policy. Obviously, your GS IR overlaps with that. The point is that, but the requirement of the optional is first you have to use theoretical concepts to give your answer along with analysis of the scholars. If you're not giving that, your answer will be general and you will be getting general marks itself. So if you want to score good marks in both section B of both the papers, you have to write as per the optional requirement. And see, the first topics, it starts with freedom struggle. So can you see page number 7, topic 1B? Page number 7, topic 1B. Does it talks about perspectives of Indian national movement? So does it talks about liberal perspective? Have you heard of Surendranath Banerjee? He said India is a nation in making. Ambedkar question. Can you see there is a Dalit perspective also? In the syllabus, there is a Dalit perspective of Indian national movement. So Surendranath Banerjee, he said India is a nation in making. The changes introduced by the Britishers. Language, for example. I am speaking which language? English. Is it an English language? Yes. But is it the common medium of communication? All of you are from different parts of the country. S.M. Banerjee said, India is a nation in making. India is being welded into a nation. And Ambedkar, Dalit perspective, said, how can India become a nation as long as India is divided into caste? Nation is a concept which requires bonding of the people. It's a mental construct when people identify themselves as belonging to one nation. It's not only when Operation Sindoor happens that the entire India becomes united as a nation, or when we have a match with Pakistan. No. Nation is that is the feeling where we have to consider ourselves as a one common identity. So Ambedkar said, how can we become united as long as we are divided along caste? And he said, Congress is a casteist organization. This is different perspective of Indian national movement. Then you see Constitution. Again, Constitution, fundamental rights, directive principles, the state legislature, executive, judiciary, federalism. All this we have to discuss in a greater detail while using theories, concepts, and analysis. And if you see the applied path. Can you see topic number, if I say 9, 10, 11. Topic number 9 talks about caste, religion, and ethnicity. Topic number 10 talks about party system. And topic number 11 talks about social movements. Now, social movements, if I talk about, have you heard of Chipko movement? What was Chipko movement? Women hug the trees to save itself from cutting. So why women hug the trees? Because their livelihood was dependent on the forests. And this Chipko movement launched environmentalism in India, environmental movements in India. What are these social movements? Social movements are basically a voice of protest against the existing system. Alternative way, when people believe that political channel is not helping them express their discontent with the system, they break out into the social movement. Which all social movements are there? If you see topic number 11, the last topic, does it talk about environmental movements? Does it talk about women movement? Does it talk about human rights and civil liberties movement? Now, Indian Express is carrying out a list of articles based on emergency. 1976, it is emergency exercise which launched human rights and civil movement in India. Sanjay Gandhi's, he ordered sterilization of Indian people. So sterilization because to control the population, forcible sterilization, that is a violation of human rights. Entire opposition was put behind bar. We will be discussing habeas corpus case, which became a landmark. Government can suspend your right to life, Article 20 and 21 in emergency. Later on, amendment was made by Janata Party government, 44th amendment, that emergency, no government can take away your right to life and liberty, Article 20 and 21. So 50 years of emergency. Emergency is said to be dark chapter in India's history, democratic history. So point is that this is what we will be discussing in detail, social movements. Now, party politics. Now, one more thing. Can you see topic number 10 and 11 are party system and social movements? Fine. And come to page number 9. That third topic, page number 9. That third topic of paper 2. What is that topic? Politics of representation and participation. Political parties, pressure groups, and social movements in advanced in industrial and developing societies. So in paper 2, Iqbal sir will be teaching you theories of political parties, social movements. Then I will be taking up in Indian context. So when you're writing the answers, you have to use the theories. So we teach in integrated way the topics. Another I will tell you. Can you see topic number 4? Next topic. It is globalization, response from developed and developing societies. And come to page number 7 again. And page number 7, can you see? Planning and economic development. What is the last topic? In topic number 8, what is the last topic, last section? It talks about liberalization and economic reforms. So obviously, we take up in an integrated way. And this is how you should approach. So normally students complain syllabus is so vast. The point is that if you identify the overlapping topics of paper 1 and paper 2, prepare in a strategic manner, it will help you. Another example I will give you. Come to page number 6. What is the second topic? Paper 1, section 8, topic number 2. What is that topic? Theories of state. And come to page number 9. What is the second topic? It is state in comparative perspective. So what I will be teaching you is theories which will be helping you when Iqbal sir teaches you state in comparative perspective. So point is that if you identify the common topics, your syllabus becomes more concise. And this is how strategic manner you should prepare. Now, if you come to page number 7, and if you see topic number 10, party system, can you see? Page number 7, party system, it talks about national and regional political parties, ideological and social base of parties, patterns of coalition politics, pressure groups, and this topic, trends in electoral behavior. Trends in electoral behavior. And if you see the second material which you have got, is it about trends in electoral behavior? Yes. Trends in electoral behavior. Now, if you talk about trends in electoral behavior, trends in electoral behavior. So, now these trends in electoral behavior, if we discuss about it, you'll find that what has been shifting pattern in electoral behavior over the past, 75 years of India's history as a democracy. And here you find that there are different factors which are there. And if I see, can you come to the last page of that material, or can you come to page number 9 of that material, trends in electoral behavior? I've included a PYQ, mains 2021. And what does the PYQ says? Electoral behavior of voters. It says the electoral behavior of the voters, electoral behavior of voters is governed more by social and economic factors than the political factors. And UPC says explain. So UPC itself says social and economic factors, they influence the voter behavior more than the political factors. Now, if I ask you, how many of you have actually voted? Raise your hands. Okay. Yes, whom did you vote? No, no. Why did you vote for that person, that candidate? Honestly. How? How that candidate was better than that? Okay. So basically, can I say you're talking about better governance? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Who else voted? Yes. What did you vote for that candidate? Family alignment. Okay. Family alignment meaning family ties. Okay. Anybody else? Yes. Voted for Nota. Okay. So Nota means none of the available. They are unsuitable. Fine. Any girl here? Did you vote? Any girls? Yes. Which ground did you vote? Better? Better governance. Okay, fine. Anybody else? Different answer. Now, one of my friend, I was having a very interesting conversation with him. So I said that he was a follower, he was supporter of a particular party. So that party has done bad things to your state in terms of development. He said, I agree. I accept whatever argument you are giving. But the point is that the moment I go to the booth, it is in my DNA that I will vote for that party itself. Why? Because that party was caste-based party. Yes. Another friend, he talked about religion. Now, if I say social and economic factors, now, suppose caste, religion, and ethnicity, they are the social factors, and economic factors are, say, development. If I say unemployment, development, employment, if I say inflation, for example, if I say welfare benefits are there. Now, to give you one example, now, last year Lok Sabha elections, I hope some of you voted for Lok Sabha elections. Okay. Last year Lok Sabha elections, BJP slogan was "Ab ki baar 400 ke par." BJP was expecting that obviously with good favorable image, BJP will cross 400 plus. Repeat what Rajiv Gandhi got way back in 1984. But BJP's juggernaut stopped at 240. And BJP got huge setback in UP. It is said that way to Delhi goes through UP because UP gives you around 80 MPs. And in 2014 elections, 2019 elections, the tally of NDA was 60 plus. This time it reduced to almost half. So point is that why and why, what was the main reason for performance of or low performance of BJP in UP? There is one of the factor was caste. Because the same slogan was used by BJP's rivals, Samajwadi Party and Congress. They said, if BJP gets super majority, they will change the constitution and do away with reservation. That created fear in the minds of the voters from lower caste. Another important factor was the caste alliance, which was stitched by Samajwadi Party in UP. The leader of Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav, he has called for PDA, Pichra Dalit and Alpsankyak. So he made a dent in BJP's vote bank. That's why Samajwadi Party, it got it one of the best performances ever, emerging as the largest MP contingent in UP Lok Sabha elections. But the same fear did not click in Bihar, the neighboring state. where NDA's tally was very good. So point is that what resonated with voters of BJP. In fact, BJP lost Ayodhya seat also, because last year Prime Minister inaugurated Ram Temple. If you see BJP's core agendas, Ram Temple, removal of Article 370 and Uniform Civil Code, Article 44. Two have been finished, one is remaining, UCC. And BJP says the Congress practices minority appeasement in the name of secularism. And what BJP says, I do not want discrimination against any religion. What I support is secularism in a real manner. So this religion plays an important role. One very example I will give you. 1984, BJP had 2 MPs. 1989, BJP is shot to 80 plus MPs. What was the reason? It was Ram Temple agitation, which ultimately led to demolition of Babri Masjid. Yes. Now 1984, we find Congress tally was 400 plus. 414, in fact, Rajiv Gandhi. Highest any prime minister has secured. One of the reason was sympathy wave. The sympathy wave in the wake of assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. But Rajiv Gandhi had said an objectionable statement that when a big tree falls, the ground beneath shakes. So like you're justifying anti-Sikh riots. So many experts say that it led to consolidation of majority vote in favor of Congress. So how? Keep in mind, from same 400 plus, Congress tally was pathetic in 1989 elections. One of the issue why Rajiv Gandhi lost 1989 election was the issue of corruption. This corruption was due to Bofors. Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal led government lost the Vidhan Sabha elections in Delhi. BJP came to power after nearly 3 decades. One of the reasons which resonated with the voters was the issue of corruption. Aam Aadmi Party had come on an anti-corruption platform, and its leaders, top leaders, were implicated in corruption case. So for the voters who had given Aam Aadmi Party 2 resounding mandates, almost 60 plus seats out of 70, Delhi Assembly has total seat of 70, and Aam Aadmi Party score was 60 plus in the last 2 elections. Percent wise, is it 90%? Is it 90%? Yes. One of the reason was this welfare benefits. Aam Aadmi Party government invested in education and health. Delhi model of governance versus Modi's model of governance in Gujarat. And welfare benefits. In 2009, Congress Party came back to power because of one of the reason was Manrega. 10 years down the line, PM Modi, he got a second term. One of the reason was his welfare schemes, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Ujjwala Yojana. So welfareism also plays an important role. Now, last year, Maharashtra, Ladli Behna scheme in MP and the scheme for women in Maharashtra also. Same is the scheme launched by JMM government in Jharkhand. Welfare benefits to women. So does gender as a social factor also plays an important role? Yes. Now all political parties are out to gather the women voters, because women in 2024 elections, their voting was at par with men. So women, there's always gap. Male voters always voted higher than female voters. But this gap gradually closed in 2024 elections. That is why for political parties, they want to capture women vote. And women voted for Nitish Kumar in Bihar. because of his good governance model, because he also banned prohibition. But the same voters, they voted against BJP in 1999 elections because of the issue of inflation. Onion, when you cut the onion, do you have teary eyes? Yes. So I think none of you were born there. So 1999, you'll find the prices of onion shot up. People did not like it, and people punished BJP. But the same people, they rewarded BJP after nearly 3 decades in Delhi. So this is how development plays an important role. So development, if you see, one of the impression was that Modi government, yes, it carried out lot of infrastructure development. Same was with Congress party also in 2009. So Nitish Kumar is called as Sushashan Babu, good governance person. His counterpart in Odisha, Naveen Patnaik, one of the longest serving chief minister of Odisha. So how Naveen Patnaik was given continuous mandate by voters of Odisha. But last year's Lok Sabha elections, he tasted defeat after a long time. There's something you will study in newspaper that is called as anti-incumbency. Anti-incumbency means dissatisfaction against the present government. They want to give a new government a chance. Same happened with Delhi. Aam Aadmi Party was ruling for 3 consecutive terms, and voters gave BJP a choice. Same happened with Odisha, where the Naveen Patnaik government was displaced by BJP government. But in the last elections in West Bengal and Jharkhand, anti-incumbency was not there because voters voted for the continuing chief minister. It was Mamata Banerjee, called Didi in West Bengal, and second was Hemant Soren. Hemant Soren invoked tribal pride, that how BJP had put him behind jail allegedly, and that was an assault on the tribal identity. Was ethnicity an important voters? So tribal voters rallied behind him and gave him the mandate. So this is how voting process is impacted by different factors. And you have to, while writing this, you have to know, point is that how to write an optional rich answer. And that you have to focus on, as I told you, link it with theories and analysis of the scholars also. So in this, I would be linking it with the topic of behavioralism. Can you see the very first topic of paper 1? Is it about political theories, meaning and approaches? So here in that we will be discussing behavioral approach. So behavioral approach basically focuses on studying the behavior of an individual, which all factors influence him. Social factors, political factors influence his behavior. So while writing answer, you have to link it with behavioralism. And if you see the material, in material I've included views of various experts. For example, Christopher Zafrelli. For example, Professor Ashutosh. For example, there will be Rajni Kothari. So Zafrelli had repeated this statement. Keep in mind that when Indians cast their vote, they vote their caste. So Zafrelli say caste is the most important factor determining the behavior of an Indian voter. So when Indian cast their vote, they vote their caste. So you have to give the views of the scholars also. That is how you are going to make your answer enriched. So material which we'll be getting will be comprehensive material, and Iqbal sir will be focusing more on that. We focus on one-stop solution, that once you join, just rely on class notes and the handouts. That will be sufficient as far as preparation of exam is concerned. So basically, I have also discussed a PYQs with you, and I've explained you paper 1 as well as the section A of paper 1 as well as section B. And if you see the mains paper, it is also divided into section A and section B. The question paper which you will be getting, section A for section A of the paper and section B for section B. Now I will stop and I will invite Iqbal sir to take the floor, and once he finishes we will be taking up Q&A session. Okay, thank you.
So students, am I audible to all of you? Am I audible, everybody? Online students, am I audible to all of you? नहीं सर बता ले ये मैं पढ़ा ना Am I audible now, everybody? Online students, am I audible to all of you? So let's continue the discussion, students. So, Sushant sir had an elaborate discussion with you on paper 1, PSIR paper 1, and I will now have a discussion with you on PSIR paper 2. And before I discuss that, so before I have that discussion with you, I would also like to discuss with you about certain important features of our classroom program, which we're going to have with you here in the institute. The special features of the classroom program as far as PSIR optional paper is concerned. That also briefly I'll tell you, and then we can have a brief discussion about PSIR paper 2 as well. So students, first of all, our focus here is after years of experience teaching PSIR optional political science and international relations, we have realized that students, they do need a one-stop solution to qualify this exam. So that is the intention here while teaching you political science optional paper, that we offer a one-stop solution for our students. And how does that happen? When you look at just right now, so Shansar had a discussion with you on a previous year question. And it is very important to excel in this exam that you must have conceptual clarity. Just rote learning of notes, if you think will help you qualify this exam, that's not going to happen. So it is very important that you should have crystal clear conceptual clarity and theoretical understanding of all the topics of the syllabus, whether it is paper 1 or paper 2. Then only you can understand the requirement of the questions. Then only you can do justice to the questions which will be asked in the examination. That is why the focus here in the classroom is not just mere dictation of notes. That's not the pedagogy of teaching which we follow, because we respect your time, value your time. If you're coming here into the classroom, you are here with us for 5 months, 6 months, and you are here for something. You are here for you want to learn something. You want to evolve as a student also. And if we spend here only 2 hours dictating notes, then you don't gain anything out of that. So our whole pedagogy here is that we will give you exam ready, well researched, concise study material. Study material will be given to you before the classes. Every class, like you have today got handouts. So each and every class will give you typed handouts, exam ready study material, one-stop solution for all of you, which will be given to you in form of notes, which is it's more than sufficient for the exam. And as far as the class is concerned, class would not be just about dictating notes. Class would focus on lucid explanation of the topics. We will make sure that make the class as interactive as possible so that we help you develop conceptual clarity and theoretical understanding of the topics. Then only you are in a better position to crack this exam. Just rote learning of notes will not help you. Therefore, the entire class will be focused on discussion, interaction, helping you understand concepts, giving complete theoretical understanding to you, and then discussing previous year questions. After one topic is taught in the class, then we make sure that all the PYQs which have been asked on that particular topic in UPSC, all PYQs we discuss in the class. So that is what I mean by one-stop solution. We give you study material, which is more than sufficient for qualifying the exam and excelling in this exam, and crystal clear conceptual understanding students will develop as part of the classroom program. Then all the previous year questions will be discussed in the class itself. In fact, only one book we will tell you to buy during the program. That will be previous year question booklet. That is all. Nothing else will be required. Otherwise, all the other study materials will be provided to you in the class itself. So that is very important, lucid explanation of the topics, and also timely and comprehensive coverage of the course. You know, we really value your time, students here. Yeah, you're all preparing for civil services. And I must tell you one thing. When you are a civil services aspirant, you are paying a heavy cost. The moment I say cost, I'm sure majority of you must be thinking that you are paying a financial cost. Of course, financial cost is there to prepare for this exam. But there's another cost which you are all paying, which you don't realize, and that is called opportunity cost. Do you understand what is opportunity cost? You know, don't you think in order to prepare for this exam, you've all pressed the pause button on your careers? You all have pressed a pause button on your careers after getting graduation. Doing your graduation, you have taken a time off to prepare for this exam. Whereas many of your other batchmates, your college mates must be pursuing their careers. They must be doing jobs. They must be doing post-graduations. So they are moving forward in their respective careers, but you are foregoing all those opportunities. So it's a very valuable time of your life which you are taken out for this particular exam, and we greatly value that. That is the reason why students, in a very professional and a disciplined manner, the course is conducted here. There's a promise, a commitment which we give to you that the course is done within 26 weeks. And that promise is fulfilled. We don't keep on teaching for 9 months, 10 months, 1 full year. We are discussing political science. Our purpose here is not to make you scholars. Our purpose here is to help you qualify the exam. So exam-oriented preparation, exam-oriented study material, entire approach is exam-oriented. That is why in each and every class after topic we discuss previous year questions which have been asked in the exam. 26 weeks, our commitment, we fulfill that. Then also study material you will get. Then also while teaching, we do understand students that there is a lot of interlinkages between PSIR paper 1 and paper 2. That also we keep in mind while having a course here. We teach in such a manner, synchronized manner. So Sushant sir will take all lectures for PSIR paper 1. I will take all the classes for PSIR paper 2. But we synchronize the classes in such a manner that you are able to understand the interlinkages between PSIR paper 1 and paper 2. So that you develop a multi-dimensional approach to attempt answers in the examination. So that also we do. Then also personalized guidance and mentorship is very important these days. There's a lot of distraction out there. Students do have a lot of queries. So at times you also feel emotionally weak that how should I go by as far as my preparation is concerned. So both our faculty members would be always available for you. We are always there for you to mentor you, to help you sail through uncharted waters of civil services preparation. In fact, we will have a group of the whole batch, and we will always stay in touch with each other, and you can come and personally also meet us here, and we will be very, very happy to help you. Also, students, one more thing which we have realized, that as far as this is concerned, civil services preparation is concerned, 50% is doing the syllabus, 50% is memorizing all the details and all the content, and 50% of your job is answer writing. You cannot qualify this exam if you do not develop good answer writing skills. So answer writing program is an integral part of the course. It is an integral part of the course answer writing program. You don't have to join any separate program for that. every weekend we will have a test. Whatever we teach you during the week, there will be a test for that every weekend. And the test would also include questions which are either have been asked in the paper, previous year questions, or questions which are of the level which would be asked in the future, or there's a probability of them being asked in the future. So the same standard of the exam would be conducted, which is the UPSC standards, which they follow. Every weekend there will be a test, a short test, not a full length test, but a short test, 2, 3, 4 questions you will have to attempt every weekend. You'll get evaluated feedback, personalized feedback, and also answer writing workshops will be held, so that along with studying the syllabus, you also get to know how should I reproduce this in the exam? How would I put this on the paper? Because that is also very important. At times, a lot of students have great understanding about the subject, but they are not able to express themselves in writing. So that is also a very, very important exercise which should be done, and we do it as part of our course. So every weekend you will have a test. Then every fortnight, once in a month at least, you will have a longer test, 150 marks, 200 marks. And then as we approach the end of the course, when we have done a sizable amount of syllabus, then you will have FLTs. FLTs means full length tests. So in total, 15 to 20 tests at least you will write during the course itself, which includes full length tests, weekly tests, and monthly tests. So the answer writing program is part of the course itself, integral part of the course, and also answer writing workshops. And students, one thing you have to understand, if you really want to succeed in this exam, so you have to be a proactive aspirant. You can't afford to be a reactive aspirant. Do you understand the difference between reactive and proactive? Reactive is when something happens, you're waiting for a disaster to happen and then you react. Proactive is when you preempt a problem, that this is what can go wrong in the future with me. This is a problem which I may face. So you prepare in advance. So you have to be a proactive aspirant, not a reactive aspirant. If you pay attention, students, you may be aware, if you look at the UPSC calendar, you will realize that every year UPSC in a very subtle manner is doing a change. What is that change? They are reducing the time between the prelims exam and the mains examination. This is happening every year now. There was a time they were 3.5 months. Then it happened 3 months. Now it is even less than 3 months, 2.5 months. So now you tell me, students, do you think 2.5 months is sufficient to develop answer writing ability? No matter whichever course you join, whichever test series you join, you can never develop answer writing ability within 2.5 months. And you also have the burden to do your GS papers also, essay paper also. Therefore, it is very important. Now is the time. Now is the time that you have to also develop your answer writing abilities. You can't wait for the time that, okay, one fine day when I will clear my prelims exam, then only I'll start writing. It's already too late. So now is the time that you have to do it. You have to be exam ready. That is our purpose here. And that's why this answer writing program, this holistic training program to write answers, is part of the course itself. And a very, very important aspect of the course. And apart from that, so Shansa must have mentioned to you, we'll have 2.5-hour lecture classes daily. Daily you'll have lectures, except those days when there is a national holiday, we don't give any other breaks. Because the commitment is to finish the whole course within a defined period of time. So therefore daily classes, and also, as I told you, you'll all get study material, and whatever dynamic portions of the syllabus are there, for those dynamic portions also you'll get separate notes. Any updated content, any new current developments which are taking place as far as IR is concerned, and government in politics is concerned, polity is concerned, we'll give material for that as well. So the whole point, the discussion which I started is, which I told you when I came here, is that our purpose is to give you a one-stop solution in terms of a PSIR classroom program, and that's how we will go about as far as the preparation is concerned. Now, students, I'd like to briefly discuss with you the PSIR paper 2 syllabus. First of all, students, you must understand that, when you talk about political science and international relations as the optional paper, the name itself does suggest that it is basically a combination of 2 subjects, political science and international relations. It's a combination of 2 different subjects. So your paper 1, so Shansa just had discussion with you, your paper 1 is about political science, and your entire PSIR paper 2 is international relations, which is divided into 2 sections, section A and section B. Section A is more theoretical. In section A, we study theories of international relations, various views of the experts on IR theories, IR concepts, also international organizations and their working, globalization, impact of globalization, more theoretical. But section B is about more applied. How would you apply? Once you know IR theory, how do you apply IR theory? You study foreign policy. So Indian foreign policy is section B and section A is more theoretical. So briefly, let me discuss this handout which you received. On that also you have this syllabus. So this is section A, paper to section A, which is on comparative politics and IR theory. So yeah, initially these first 3 chapters of your syllabus of paper 2 is related to a topic called comparative politics. What is comparative politics, students? As the name does suggest, it is all about comparing political systems of different countries. If we want to understand international relations, what is IR? IR is study of relations between the states of the world, between the countries of the world. Now, if you want to understand, for example, if you want to understand what is the relationship which India has with USA, so don't you think you should also have good knowledge about the political system of India and the political system of US? How is it different from each other? That will give you a better insight into understanding relations between these two countries. And for example, if you want to analyze India-Pakistan relations, so don't you think you should take into consideration that India is a democratic country, whereas Pakistan is a pseudo-democracy? You know what is a pseudo-democracy? When you claim to be democratic, but in reality you are not. Pakistan claims to be democratic, but do you think Pakistan is democratic? Power in Pakistan is in the hands of the military establishment. So foreign policy of a pseudo-democracy would always be very different as compared to a democratic nation. So you have to analyze political systems of different countries if you really want to have better understanding of international relations. And that is what we do in this subject called comparative politics, comparing political system of different countries. For example, India and US are both democratic countries. They both have democratic political systems, but there is a difference. We follow parliamentary form of democracy, whereas America has presidential form of democracy. In a parliamentary form of democracy, the executive, the prime minister, is member of the legislature, parliament. Our prime minister and council of ministers, all of them are supposed to be members of either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So executive is part of the parliament. But in presidential form of democracy, president is not part of the legislature. And what is a legislature of America called? Congress. US Congress is the legislature of US. Legislature means lawmaking body. Our lawmaking body is called Parliament. America's lawmaking body is called US Congress. It also has 2 houses. The lower house is known as House of Representatives. The upper house is known as a Senate. So US Congress is the legislature of US. Don't have any misunderstanding. US Congress is not the branch of Indian National Congress in America. So US Congress is the legislature of US. So in a presidential form of democracy, what happens? President is not part of the legislature. Elections for president are held separately and elections for the Congress are held separately. But in our country, common elections, common general elections for Lok Sabha. So different system. So we have to take, we are a multi-party system. We have multiple political parties. America is a 2-party system, Democrats and Republicans. So this does have impact on American foreign policy. When Joe Biden was there was a different policy. Now Trump is there, there's a different policy. We have to analyze all this to understand India-US relations in a better manner. For example, students, what is the retirement age of Supreme Court judges in India? 65 years. What is the retirement age of Supreme Court judges in US? They are judges till death. There is no retirement age. So you have to compare political systems of different countries to a better understanding of IR. That is called comparative politics. That's what your first 3 chapters are all about. And in order to do comparative politics also, you need certain theories, certain methods. What methods you use to do comparative politics? Those methods are mentioned here in your first chapter. There's a political economy approach in which we give more importance to comparison of economic factors. Then there's political sociology approach in which we give more importance to comparison of social factors between different countries. Then there is a political, there is a systems approach, there is political culture approach. There are multiple approaches are there, which we discuss in this first chapter. Then also students, when we compare political systems of different countries, we must also compare state in comparative perspective. That means the state, the institution of state. You know what's a state? State is a political entity which has 4 features. You know what are those 4 features? Sovereignty, territory, population, and a government. Like India is a sovereign state. So in other words, you may also call them as, describe them as countries or nations, but in technical language, we use the term state. So how state formation has happened in the world? The state formation in capitalist countries, socialist countries, communist countries, in all where the ideology is different, the state is also different, nature of state is also different. Then also politics of representation and participation, especially in democratic states, democratic countries, where people participate in policy making, decision making. So how do they do it? How are they able to do it? In that, we'll have to study the role of political parties, where we will compare what type of political parties exist in India and what type of political parties exist in other countries. Western world, India, comparison of political parties. For example, can you point out any common feature of political parties in India? Do you think they have internal democracy? Political parties in India, do you think they have internal democracy? No. They lack internal democracy and also financial accountability. Whereas when you look at political parties of Western countries, Europe, America, they do have a internal democracy, financial accountability, more institutionalization. Whereas if you look at political parties of India and many other South Asian countries, you see dynasty politics. You understand what is dynasty politics? Hereditary politics. The Gandhi family or the Rajapaksa family in Sri Lanka, or you have the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman family in Bangladesh, or you have the Bhutto family in Pakistan, or the Nawaz Sharif family in Pakistan. So this hereditary kind of politics you have only in our part of the world, not in the Western world. So you have to analyze the differences between the political parties, pressure groups, the social movements among rich countries and developing countries. Then students, the next chapter is globalization. In fact, this is such an important chapter. In multiple parts of the syllabus of paper 2, globalization is mentioned. So we have to do a detailed analysis of what is globalization. You know, do you have any brief understanding of what is globalization? Free trade among states. There should be integration of the global economy. The world should become one common global market. That is called globalization. So how globalization has affected world politics, international politics. Nature of international politics have changed because of globalization. So that is what we have to discuss in this chapter. What is impact of globalization on developed countries or developing countries? So this is also a very important aspect of the syllabus. Then the most important chapter of PSIR paper 2, the entire PSIR paper 2 is approaches to study international relations. In fact, our PSIR paper 2 classes will start from this chapter. What do you mean by approaches to study IR? Approaches to study IR means theories of IR. There are different theories which have been proposed to study international relations. For example, realism, idealism, Marxism, constructivism, postmodernism, system theory, functionalism. Different theories are there to study international relations. And this is the foundation of the subject, students. We have to do detailed discussion of all these theories, because these theories we will use in all the chapters. In all the chapters. It's not that theories are important only for those questions which are theory specific. Even if you are, for example, attempting India-Pakistan question that analyze India-Pakistan relations. So as a PSIR student, you are expected to do theoretical analysis. As if you are a GS student, if you are attempting GS paper 2 and you get the question, analyze India-Pakistan relationship. So you will do a factual analysis. That what are the problems in India-Pakistan relationship? There's a territorial dispute, Kashmir dispute, Sar Creek dispute, a proxy war going on where Pakistan is sponsoring terrorism against India. India is following a Doval doctrine to deal with the terrorism and proxy war, recent Operation Sindoor. You will mention all of that. So a factual analysis you will do in the GS paper. But a lot of students have this problem. They end up writing GS answers also in the PSIR optional, and then they don't get good marks. You cannot write GS-like answers in the optional paper. So how will your PSIR answers are different from GS answers? The difference is theory, students. Theory will make your PSIR answers different from GS answers. When you get the same question on India, Pakistan, the PSIR paper, you will not just do factual analysis, you will do academic analysis. How can you do academic analysis? You will write down realist perspective on India-Pakistan relations, Marxist perspective on India-Pakistan relations, constructivist perspective on India-Pakistan relations. These are all different theories. And then you will also quote viewpoints of experts and scholars who have written books on India-Pakistan relations. So that makes your PSIR answer different from your GS answer. So in all the chapters of the PSIR paper 2, in all the questions of the PSIR paper 2 in the exam, you are expected to use these theories. And that will give you an edge over your competitors. Then only you will be able to write PSIR answers which are different from GS answers. So that is why this is the most important chapter. This will be our first chapter of discussion in the classes. And the second most important chapter is key concepts in international relations. The most important concepts of IR: what is national interest, what is national security, what is power, what is balance of power, what is collective security, what is nuclear deterrence. These are very important concepts. Nuclear proliferation, very important concepts. And we do a theoretical analysis of all of this. And if you have mastery, students, if you have expertise over these two chapters, your 90% of the job is done. You'll be able to understand everything else in the subject. These are the two important chapters of the syllabus where we will focus in the initial classes itself. We'll start with this. And that's the mistake students do. They stay confused. They are not able to score good marks in PSIR paper 2 because they end up writing GS-like answers in the PSIR paper, assuming that the questions are same. No, questions may be same, but the approach has to be different. And this will make your approach different. Then only you'll get good marks. So a lot of focus would be on this. Then we will also do this international politics, students, IR. Is it static or dynamic? IR relations keep on changing or not? Yes, it does change. IR is a very dynamic subject. You all know about Hiroshima, Nagasaki. US dropped nuclear weapons on Japan during Second World War, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The worst thing you can do to a country is drop nuclear weapons on them. There can be nothing bad than that. So that means Japan and US were the biggest rivals of each other during Second World War. But what is the status of their relationship today? Today they are best friends, military alliance partners. So countries which were enemies yesterday, today they are friends. India had a terrible relationship with America 40, 50 years ago. We were considered more closer towards the Soviet Union. But today, India and US are strategic and defense partners. India and Israel did not have a good relationship 40 years ago. India was more supportive of Palestine. But today, India and Israel has developed a great amount of friendship. In fact, Prime Minister Modi has become the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Israel. And who is Israel's Prime Minister? Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, Benjamin Netanyahu recently said, India-Israel marriage is made in heaven. So that is the status of the relationship today. So countries which were enemies yesterday, today are friends. So in IR, nothing is static. The nature of world politics keeps on changing. So we have to discuss the evolution, changing international political order, how world order is changing. That means how nature of world politics is changing. There was a time when it was a bipolar world. Then it became a unipolar world. Now it is becoming a multipolar world. There was a time there was a Cold War period. Now we are heading towards a new Cold War between US and China. So all that history of IR is this chapter. Cold War period, rise of superpowers, animosity between US and Soviet Union. And during that time, countries like India followed policy of non-alignment. That is in your syllabus. Then Soviet Union got disintegrated in 1991. Cold War ended, and now we are having a new Cold War-like situation. That is this chapter. Then next chapter, students, is evolution of the international economic system. How international economy over the years have evolved. So when we talk about international economy, we have to discuss the most important financial institutions of the world, which are known as Bretton Woods institutions. You know which are Bretton Woods institutions? IMF, World Bank, and now you even have WTO, World Trade Organizations. Now, why they are called Bretton Woods institutions? During Second World War, students, the Western countries, they decided to have a conference on world economy. They said that let's meet all of us and let's try and create such a system which will help us stabilize a world economy and ensure prosperity of the world. For that, they had a conference. World leaders had a conference in US in a state called New Hampshire in a resort town called Bretton Woods. So name of the town was Bretton Woods, where they had that conference. In that conference, all the leaders of the world, majority of the Western leaders, they signed an agreement called Bretton Woods Agreement. On the basis of that Bretton Woods Agreement, these institutions were created called IMF and World Bank. That is why IMF and World Bank are known as Bretton Woods institutions. And that is also, and WTO as well is in our syllabus. That's what it is, a very relevant topic these days because Trump has gone completely berserk. I hope you know Trump is imposing tariff barriers on the entire world. He's imposing taxes, duties, custom duties on the entire world, which is causing more and more trade disputes in the world. Therefore, it is very important to understand the functioning of the World Trade Organization. And again, this is linked with the topic of globalization. So that's what we discuss here. Then, students, United Nations, as you know, one of the most important international organizations is UN. So we do a detailed discussion of UN, detailed analysis of United Nations in our classes. We in fact spend around 4 to 5 lectures just discussing what is UN, what are problems of UN, what changes are required in UN, what has been India's contribution in UN. That is also in the syllabus in past section B. One chapter in section B is India's role in UN, India's relationship with UN. India has an aspiration to become a permanent member of the UN Security Council. How is that going to happen? What problems India is facing? All of that we discuss here. What changes and reforms are required in UN? We discuss here. Now, UN is an international organization, but there are also very important regional organizations in the world. In fact, number of regional organizations in the world day by day is increasing. This is called regionalization of world politics. What is a regional organization, students? A regional organization is a body with the members, they belong to a particular region of the world. Whereas in UN, the members belong to the entire world. All continents, all countries are members of UN. 193 countries are members. Except few exceptions, majority of them are members. But in regional organizations, only countries of a particular region would be members. For example, European Union. In European Union, you have 27 European countries. You have SAARC, South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, where you have only South Asian countries as members. You have ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which you only have Southeast Asian countries as members. You have African Union, where you only have African states. Now we have BIMSTEC also, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, where you have only countries on the Bay of Bengal as members. So these are important regional organizations of the world. That is also what we have to study. That is also in our syllabus. Then contemporary global concerns. Which are major global concerns in the world today? Do you think democracy is a major concern today in the world? Democratic institutions in many countries are being attacked and are being weakened. So that also we have to discuss. Human rights is a very big issue in the world politics today. Then also environment, global warming, climate change, the entire negotiations which have been happening between countries to fight against climate change. That is also in our syllabus. Then gender justice. Gender justice is a very important topic. Right now also multiple wars are being fought in the world, Israel-Hamas war, Russia-Ukraine war. Israel and Iran are on the verge of a war. So these multiple wars which are being fought in the world right now, you tell me, students, who are the biggest sufferers in wars? Biggest sufferers in wars. Who suffer the most? Women and children. Women and children are the biggest sufferers in wars. And in IR, mainstream IR theory, women perspectives are completely excluded. completely excluded. Therefore, the feminist theory of IR has given a robust criticism of mainstream IR theory, because in mainstream study of international relations, women perspectives are not taken into consideration. So there is a very robust issue of gender justice in international relations. That is also what we have to discuss. Then, of course, terrorism and also issue of nuclear proliferation. What do you mean by nuclear proliferation? What do you mean by proliferation? Proliferation means a spread. So if nuclear weapons are spreading, if more and more countries are acquiring nuclear weapons, like if Iran is able to develop nuclear weapons, that is an example of nuclear proliferation. This is good for world peace or bad for world peace? Bad. So therefore, there's a need to discuss the topic of nuclear proliferation also. There are multiple treaties in the world to check nuclear proliferation. You may have heard about them. NPT, CTBT, FMCT. Then there are groups to take care of the problem called NSG, Nuclear Suppliers Group. These are topics we have to study here. So this is your section A of the syllabus, students. Completely theoretical and analytical. A lot of students have they lose the sleep over this, that oh my God, IR is very dynamic, very dynamic. You see the entire section A. Is there anything dynamic here? No, it's completely conceptual and theoretical. If you have good understanding, very easy to score good marks here. And our students have been getting very good marks in PSI paper 2 if you have very good theoretical understanding of all these topics. Once we are done with this, then we move on to section B. Now, what is section B? India and the world. That is India's relationship with the other countries. Indian foreign policy, a detailed analysis of Indian foreign policy and how India is interacting with the world. That is what we study in a section B of the syllabus. So first chapter would be Indian foreign policy, and a detailed discussion of Indian foreign policy, how Indian foreign policy over the years have evolved, changes which have happened in foreign policy, we discuss here. And then this topic, determinants of Indian foreign policy. Determinants of Indian foreign policy. What do you understand by this term, students? Determinants. Determinants means factors which are responsible for making a foreign policy, factors which determine Indian foreign policy. So when Indian foreign policy is made by our policy makers sitting in the Ministry of External Affairs and Prime Minister's Office and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, so when they make Indian foreign policy or formulate Indian foreign policy, do you think there are certain factors which does impact their decisions? For example, students, do you think geography matters? Do you think geography has an impact on making a foreign policy? Do you think history has an impact on making a foreign policy? Do you think our colonial past does affect our foreign policy? Do you think culture has an impact on foreign policy? Do you think the domestic politics of the country has an impact on foreign policy? So there are multiple factors which may impact India's foreign policy. And we do a detailed discussion on this. That is what we discuss here, determinants of foreign policy. Then institutions of policy making. Which are those institutions in India which are responsible for policy making, foreign policy making? For example, Prime Minister's Office, MEA, National Security Advisor. Then there's something called National Security Council, which plays a very important role, especially in crisis situation. Then the role played by the parliament, the role played by media, the role played by think tanks and universities in development of Indian foreign policy. There are multiple institutions, role played by the cabinet, council of ministers. So all this we have to discuss here, that how Indian foreign policy is developed, which factors are responsible. This also, students, I would tell you, is completely static. Here it's not dynamic because the determinants remain the same, institutions also remain the same. So very easy questions are asked from these chapters. If you're able to do this, you're able to answer all those questions. Then so the next topic is India's contribution to NAM, non-alignment movement, because our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru was the founding father of the NAM movement, which we followed during the Cold War period. So whether NAM is still relevant or it has lost its relevance, and if it has lost its relevance, why? How Indian foreign policy is now changing. We'll discuss in our classes elaborate discussions how we used to be a country which used to follow non-alignment, but now under the present government, India is following a policy which is more closer to multi-alignment. So that changes have happened. How has those changes happened? Why those changes have happened? Prime Minister Modi is the first Indian Prime Minister to not attend any NAM summit. He's not attended any NAM summit in his tenure since 2014. So don't you think this means that non-alignment is losing a relevance for India? Why is this happening? All this you have to discuss in this particular chapter. Then is the India's relationship with the South Asia. That's a very important chapter. All our South Asian neighbors, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, these are all also members of the organization called SAARC. So what relationship we have with these countries? What disputes we have? What river disputes we have? Or also what territorial and border disputes we have? There is a refugee problem, illegal migration problem. All this we discuss in this particular chapter. Then also how cross-border terrorism has been happening, how Pakistan is fighting a proxy war against India. Also, India's relationship. And when we talk about neighbors, students, neighborhood itself can be divided into two components. One is your immediate neighbors. Who are your immediate neighbors? They are the ones who are touching your borders. Then there's one more category called extended neighborhood. Now that also has become very important these days. Because if India, what is India's aspiration? Do you agree with me, students? India wants to become a global power. India wants to become a Vishwaguru. India wants to become Viksit Bharat by 2047. Now, all these aspirations and dreams cannot be fulfilled if we do not give importance to our extended neighborhood also. Now, what is extended neighborhood? Extended neighborhood are those countries which may not be our direct neighbors, but they are neighbors of our neighbors. Neighbors of our neighbors are called extended neighbors. Which are those? Southeast Asia, Central Asia, West Asia, Indian Ocean region. So we also discuss India's relationship with the extended neighbors. Like there's a Look East policy to develop good relationship with the Southeast Asia, which Prime Minister Modi has renamed as a Act East policy. Similarly, we have a Connect Central Asia policy, Look West policy for our extended neighbors. India has also launched its Indian Ocean policy, Indo-Pacific policy. That is also what we will discuss. And all this we cover in these chapters. Then the next chapter, students, is India and Global South. What is Global South, students? What's Global South? Anybody has any idea about it? When you look at, yes. But what common feature they have? Global South. Yes. Very good, students. A lot of you have hinted in the right direction. You know, when you look at the world, we divide the world into different blocks. So, majority of the rich countries of the world, majority of the erstwhile colonizers of the world are in the northern hemisphere. And again, I'm saying majority. There will be exceptions. I agree, there will be exceptions. But majority of them are in the northern hemisphere. And majority of the poor countries of the world, majority of the post-colonial states. You know what is a post-colonial state? A post-colonial state is a state which has suffered years and decades of colonial exploitation. And therefore, they are poor, they are developing countries. So majority of the post-colonial states and the poor countries of the world are located in the southern hemisphere. And therefore, they are known as Global South. So Global North is the rich world, Global South is the poor world, and India has an aspiration. Prime Minister Modi has an aspiration. What is that aspiration? India wants to become the voice of the Global South. India wants to become the leader of the Global South. Global South would include what? Africa, Latin America, South Asia. These places are part of a Global South. And India wants to represent them in the world. In all international organizations, India wants to defend them and work for their issues, work for their concerns. India wants to be a champion of the causes of the Global South and help these countries convince other countries to agree on their proposals which will address their concerns and grievances like regarding growth and development. So India has a very robust relationship with the Global South. So India, Africa, India, Latin America, India and the Global South is what we do in this chapter. The Global South countries have been demanding, students, their demand is NEO, What is NEO? NIEO. NEO means New International Economic Order. The global south countries, they say that historically what has happened? What do you think, students? Historically, the global resources have been exploited and dominated by which countries? Rich colonizers, rich countries of the global north. So global south countries have not got equal opportunities of growth and development. They've not got equal access to global resources. Their resources have always been exploited by the rich countries. Therefore, now there's a demand of the global south that there should be a new international economic order. That means the world economic order should be redefined. There should be reconceptualization of the world economic order in such a manner that there should be redistribution of wealth. What do you mean by redistribution of wealth? The wealth which is concentrated among the global north countries should also come down to global south countries. Global south countries should get equal access to global resources. They should get equal opportunities for growth and development. That is the aspiration of the global south countries, a new international economic order, and India supports that. India supports that idea. So this is also something which we have to discuss. Recently, India hosted the G20 summit, if you are aware. During the G20 summit, under India's leadership, African Union was made a member of a G20. And what is African Union? It is global south. So India is very serious about this. That's what we discuss. Then the next chapter is India and the global centers of power. What are the global power centers? US, Japan, Russia, China, West Asia. These are global power centers. So our relationship with these countries also we discuss. Even European Union is a global power center. Then students, India's role in UN, I told you this is also in the syllabus. And also India and the nuclear question. Why is it important to discuss India's nuclear policy, students? Because India has nuclear weapons. India is a nuclear weapon state. And India, therefore, it's very important to do a detailed analysis of what is India's position on nuclear non-proliferation, what is India's position on the idea of nuclear disarmament, and what is India's nuclear doctrine, which is based on the principle of no first use, and whether it should change or not. So this discussion which we do in this particular chapter, what is your understanding, students, of the idea called nuclear non-proliferation? Non-proliferation means that nuclear weapons should not spread. New countries like Iran should not be allowed to acquire nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons should not spread into new countries. Right now, how many countries have nuclear weapons in the world? 9 countries has nuclear weapons. No more countries should be allowed. That's called nuclear non-proliferation. But there's one more idea called nuclear disarmament. What is nuclear disarmament? That idea says that whatever countries already has nuclear weapons, they should also give up nuclear weapons. They should also disarm their nuclear weapons. We should have a planet free of nuclear weapons. So what is India's stand on all these concepts? What is India's nuclear doctrine? Theoretical analysis of India's nuclear doctrine. That's what we study in this chapter. And there's one more chapter which is not there in this handout, but there's one more last chapter, that is India and the new world order. The world politics which is changing. How is India adjusting and adapting to that? And India's relationship with West Asia, that is the last chapter. So that also we discuss. So this is your entire syllabus of PSIR paper 2. Very fascinating, very interesting. So we do a detailed discussion on all of this. Equal number of classes are held for PSIR paper 1 and PSIR paper 2. Equal weightage is given to them in the classroom program. And like I told you, even though in the handout which we've given to you, we've given you a reading list, because a lot of students who may be attending this workshop may not want to join the classroom program. For them also, we want to be helpful. So if you want to prepare on your own, this is the reading list which you can refer. But this is not recommended to the students who would join the classroom program here, because the students who are going to join, they will get study material, the notes, all exam ready, well researched, concise material which is prepared from a wide array of books will be given to you in the classes. So that will be more than sufficient, much more than sufficient. Nothing else would be required. Students, it's a very hard thing. You know what one problem that students face while preparing for civil services is that you may have very good books in the market, but you have to make such notes which are exam specific. Now, what is the requirement of the exam? Requirement of the exam is 250 words or 150 words. This is the word limit for answers. Whereas in the books, when you read, you have a chapter which may be 30 pages long, 40 pages long, 50 pages long. How are you going to summarize that as per the requirement of the question? So that requires a lot of hard work and donkey work, which we've already done for you. So we prepared notes from wide array of books and from this reading list for you, which will be given to you on a class by class basis. Handouts and ready material will be given to you. Otherwise, this is the reading list. If you have to do it on your own, these are the books recommended which you will have to read to cover the entire syllabus. So that is how you go about this. Now, apart from this, students, I also wanted to have a discussion with you on one of the topics. And like Sushant sir just had with you, so I also wanted to have a discussion on a topic called soft power, not from GS perspective, but from a PSIR perspective, and discuss a previous year question also. But unfortunately, students, we are running out of time. So we may not be able to do that because that also requires 1 full hour of discussion. So I'll not be able to do that, but notes are given to you. You can just have a look what kind of notes you will receive in your classroom. And also PYQ is mentioned there on idea of a soft power, where you have to do theoretical analysis and also views of the experts to write good answers. So that you can have a look at that what kind of materials will be circulated in the classes. It's just a very small topic. You know, which topic is that? Basically, this topic, when you see section A, in section A, key concepts in IR, one topic is called power. Power here, this. Now, there are different types of power which may exist in international politics. For example, hard power, soft power, sharp power, fast power, structural power, relational power. There are so many different types of power which we do in our PSIR classes. So I just so that you can just have a feel, I just gave you notes only on one part of power, that is called a soft power, which we study in PSIR, and then also we discuss PYQs. I would have loved to discuss it right now with you, but unfortunately run out of time, because I also want you to open up the floor for Q&A section. And that's why I'm not discussing that right now. But of course, in our classrooms, we will have discussion on all these topics. So now I would like to open up the floor for Q&A session. Students, any doubts, any queries you have regarding the optional paper, anything which you have in your head, just feel free to ask. And online students, you can also now ask your questions, and we'd like to address your doubts. Can you please call Sushant sir also? So any doubts, queries you have, students? Anything you'd like to ask? Yes. 2027. Okay. Yes. Okay. Hmm. That's a very good question. She's worried about that she may give exam later, but if she attends classes right now, so how would she stay updated regarding the exam? So that's again one thing which I'd like to point out, that we are always there for you here. Okay, so we are there for you till the time you qualify the exam. Like I just discussed the syllabus with you, there's a very big misconception that it's entirely dynamic. It's not entirely dynamic. It's just a few chapters which are dynamic, and whatever new developments may take place in those chapters, for that also updated notes we will continue to share with you on the portal. So we'll keep on getting those updated notes also regarding any new developments as well, and you come and meet us also, and we'll share the new notes also with you. That's how we can help you if you end up writing the exam later after the classes. Okay, anything else? Any doubts, queries you have, students? Yes, online students, is there any doubts? Can you please scroll up and so that yes, what's so Shant is a better position to answer this. So Shant sir, please answer this question.
Between PSIR and history, which is best choice with less risk factor? The point is that I told you all optionals are good. It points, as I said in the beginning also, that your interest, your ability to work hard and write guidance. In fact, this entire examination is a risk, isn't it? Success rate is less than 1%. So what distinguishes you is these three things. Is it fine to opt optional by the upcoming year or by January 2026, so that I could free from my college exams and optional now? when the point is that it depends on what is your target year. When are you planning to appear? If you are planning to appear next year, this is the right time to finish your optional, because by the end of December the optional will be complete. Okay, and then you can, from January onwards, you can start exclusively prelims preparation. This is a high time to start the optional. Okay, and Iqbal sir must have mentioned that we need 180 classes.
No, I didn't tell them. You can
Okay,
tell them
okay.
about that.
Now, as Iqbal sir has pointed out, that we believe in comprehensive coverage of the syllabus in a time-bound manner. Okay, and there will be weekly test as well as the monthly test also we will be conducting. Now, point is that your time is precious. I told you in the beginning also. So we finish in 180 classes, 90 for both the papers, giving equal weightage to both the papers, and that's how we plan to finish it by 5.5 to 6 months max, not more than that. Okay, so time bound comprehensive coverage of the syllabus is important. I told you in the beginning also, we are not here to make you experts or scholars. The very reason why you are here and why we are here is to help you ace this examination. If you have love for a subject, after qualifying you can take sabbatical and pursue higher studies also. So that obviously will be funded by the government also. Don't worry about that. But right now your goal is to clear the examination. That's it.
We
And I
don't
told
want a
you,
system where you're attending classes even after your exam as well. Okay.
as I told you, golden mean is important. Avoidance of extremes, which Aristotle said.
And Kritika has this doubt. Kritika is very concerned about how would I get updated notes. Don't you trust me? I just told you that even after your classes is over, you will keep on getting these notes on the portal. You all have access to portal. Do you know about that? When you join the institute here, you get an access to portal. So on the portal, whatever new notes, like right now, I'm teaching a batch of PSIR. It's going on right now. So certain new developments have happened. So whatever new materials or new notes I have developed for the students, that I'm also sharing with the previous batch students which have already passed out, because I don't want them to miss on something. So if there's something new has happened, because I have one handicap. That handicap is that God has not given me the divine capability to teach you the future. I can only teach you what has happened up till today evening. Now tomorrow something new happens, new development happens, that is something which we have to analyze later. So but for that also we make material for you, we make notes for you, update the notes, and that also you will keep on receiving. Even if you have your course is over, you will keep on getting those notes. Just stay tension free. There would be no such problems. Not just notes, we would also be available for you for till the time we don't qualify the exam. We're not going to leave you. So whatever help you would require after prelims also, we would be there for you, which also includes updated notes. Don't worry about it. Okay.
And just to add, already in the gap I met one student who's writing mains. He was having some problem with his mains answer writing. So just we helped him out. Now point is that Vaishali, I already said in the beginning that it is the students who fail the optional, not the optional which fails the students. So if you are willing to work hard, obviously the sky is the limit. Don't worry. So that will help you.
Now we can only help you. We can only discuss with you because being PSIR experts, we can just discuss with you what are the strengths of this PSIR optional, which Sushant sir also discussed with you in the initial part of the workshop, and how it overlaps with the GS and how it will propel your probability of, it will help increase your probability of succeeding in this examination. And I need not tell you that it is one of the most successful optionals as far as civil service examination is concerned. Majority of the top ranks and selected students do opt for PSIR optional. It's one of the most popular optional papers. You already know that. So we can only tell you the strengths of the paper exam. We can only strengths of the optional paper. We can only tell you how can it help you. Now, when you ask this question, sir, tell me which one is best for me. Now, that question we cannot answer. That you have to answer. That question you asked to the person standing in the mirror. Okay, because if I tell you, okay, this will be best for you, later you don't like it, you will abuse me for the rest of your life. How can I take that risk? Okay, whether you like a particular subject or you don't like a particular subject, that is a question which you have to answer. Okay, there's two things you have to, when you opt for an optional paper, two things you keep in mind. One is the probability of a success. What is the success rate of that optional paper? You should not be stuck with the optional which has a very low success rate. Even if you do good, you may not get selected. So opt for an optional paper which is a high success rate. Second criteria, which is equally important, is that whether you have keen academic interest in that paper or not. The optional paper may have a high success rate, but if you do not have good interest, for example, if you have no interest in politics, the most boring thing you find in life is politics, then don't take PSIR, because PSIR is all about politics only. तुम्हें नहीं अच्छी लगती politics, अभी जाओ घर वापस workshop छोड़ के. Then don't take PSIR. So you have to, these questions you have to answer. This I don't know about you. Okay, PSIR is all about major part of PSIR options, but politics, domestic politics and international politics, political theory. And if you are very much interested in politics, बहुत अच्छा लगता है politics, political news, developments, everything, then PSIR is the subject for you. Then you'll really enjoy it. Like Sushant today had a discussion with you on electoral behavior, voting pattern of Indian citizens. That's about discussion about Indian politics. So two factors. One is success rate of the optional. Second is your interest, because you have to live with that subject for the next 1.5 years at least. So if you have keen interest, you go for it. Okay, that is something which you have to answer. And how would you now? The next question would be, sir, how do I know whether I'm interested or not? For that also, all I can tell you is attend workshops. Like you have a PSIR workshop today. Similarly, you'll have workshops for other optional papers, and you'll get to know whether you are interested or not. Second would be read the syllabus and previous year questions. When you do that exercise on your own, like we did today in the class, I discussed the syllabus with you. And if you also see previous year questions, you will automatically get to know that whether I'm interested in this subject or not. If you're getting that calling from inside, go for it. Don't worry. So this is something which you have to. I can tell you success rate of PSIR is very high. It's one of the best choices you can make for the civil services examination. But whether you are interested in this subject or not, that is something which you have to decide. So on the basis of these two factors, you make your choice. That's what we can tell you. And whether ultimately it's you who have to decide. Okay. Yes.
Now, whether he's asking, she's enrolled in Vajiram's 2 years course, preparing for 2027. So what is the right time to do the optional? I will say now, because by the end of December, you will be done with your optional, and next year you will be starting with GS. So you have to attend just one class. You can keep on doing answer writing practice for the optional also. Keep on revising, keep on updating, and then you can have a good command by the time you end your main GS batches, and you'll be in a very good position if you have good command over optional. This is the right time. You will have what is called as an early bird advantage. Okay.
The fledgling patch students in the first year, they don't have a class daily. Am I right? You don't have a class daily in the first year. That means you have a lot of extra time. So this is the time when you can finish your optional paper. As a fledgling patch students will go into second year, then you'll have a GS class every day, daily, without a break. Then it becomes very taxing to do GS also and to do optional as well. So that now would be the right time to utilize time in a judicial way and complete your optional classes if you can. And for anyways, I must tell you, if you want to qualify this exam and prepare for it sincerely, 6 months before your prelims paper, or at least 5 months before your prelims paper, all your classes should be over. Whether it is GS or it's optional or it is a CSAT. If you are attending classes up till March and then expect that you will qualify the prelims in the month of May, that is an impossible task. That's an impossible task. And if you take up an impossible task, then what will happen to you? What will happen? Your stress levels will increase. Agar main aisa task le loon that I have to run marathon tomorrow. Look at me. I'm so obese and fat. Will I be able to do that? It's an impossible task for me. So mera stress level hi badhega na. I would go into depression. My mental health will get affected. So don't take up impossible tasks. It means unfair on you if you're expecting that मैं March, April तक classes करूंगा and then I'll qualify the prelims exam next month in May. That's not going to happen. You need 4 to 5 months of self-study to qualify the prelims exam. UPSC exam qualify करने के लिए जुगाड़ solution नहीं है. We are a जुगाड़ generation. Indians. हमें हर चीज का चाहिए shortcut. कि कोई गोली डाल दो मुंह में और मेरा पेपर क्लियर हो जाए 6 महीने में, नहीं होगा, नहीं होगा, मैं पहले ही बता देता हूं, इट विल नॉट हैपन. You have to give 1 year of your life to qualify this exam. 1 year of dedicated preparation. 6-7-8 महीने classes करो, 5 months of self study, and then you write the prelims and the mains paper. That is the logical path towards success. So ये चीज you keep in your mind that you can't do this. You can't keep on attending lectures till the last moment and then you get 2 weeks to prepare and then you think you will qualify. That's not going to happen. So in that context also, if you're appearing next year, this time is the right time to do your classes so that you are free by December or January. And then you get 4-5 months to prepare for your prelims examination. So don't postpone things. That's what I want to say.
Roma, if your GS batch and optional batch timings are clashing, there are multiple GS batches running. You can request for a shift in GS batches. That will be done readily. Don't worry about that. And as far as the recording of optional lectures are concerned, you'll be getting the recording for your revision, but it is with limited time frame. I think it probably 3-4 days. 3 days it is there.
Yes, you want to do something?
And 3 days are sufficient for revision, I guess, provided you do not see it in 1.5 or 2x speed.
My experience of last 5 years is that recorded lectures have not helped any student. Why? Because this is just making you procrastinate. That is all. This is facilitating procrastination. That आज सो जाते हैं, recorded देख लेंगे, बेड पे लेट के 3x स्पीड पे, खुद को बेवकूफ बना रहे हो, ठीक है? Don't do it. If you come to the classroom, then only you are able to connect with the teacher and grasp thing. This recording you should see recording only when, for example, you are sick or there's some emergency and you were not able to attend the class, or you are working. You're a working professional, you cannot come to the classroom. Then you see the recorded video. ऐसे नहीं कि बिल्कुल जीवन में खाली बैठे हैं, करने को है तो कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ तैयारी कर रहे हैं, तब भी क्लास नहीं आ रहे हैं. We are watching the recorded video. Then you're doing disservice to yourself. So recorded videos you will get, but it should be only when you are not able to attend the class because of some medical problem or because of some emergency, or if you're a working professional. Apart from these 3 cases, I would not recommend that you only bank on recorded videos. Attend live classes. Online students also should attend live classes. Then only you benefit from the course. You're able to connect with the teacher and ask all the doubts, and everything you are able to memorize properly.
So live classes, like you enjoy more while watching live matches?
Yes.
I like that. Okay. Now, Kangan has asked that your CSET timings are clashing. Again, keep in mind, CSET is just a qualifying, and optional adds to your mains tally. So there are multiple CSET batches running also. You can apply for a shift. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that can also. Anything else students you like to
And
ask?
if you're appearing in 2028, if your target is 2028, then I suggest you should not join now. You join next year. Okay.
What classes? 7 days a week.
Classes 7
days a week. Well, is it mentioned 6 days in the? Then that must be a typing error. It is 7 days a week. Then that is a miscommunication. I would like to apologize for that. It's 7 days a week, because we wouldn't be able to finish the syllabus if we don't have it every day.
I told you 180 classes, and if there are holidays also, gazetted holidays also, like Independence Day.
Yeah, उस दिन बंद करना ही पड़ता है. So then we can't have a class on 15th of August, 26th of January, on the day of Holi.
If you have a sectional test also, in that case, we try not to give leave.
A weekly test also, we don't give you a leave. You know, 2.5 hour class. So 1.5 hours there will be a lecture, and the remaining 1 hour you will sit in the classroom and write the
exam
test. So that's how we integrate the answer writing as part of the classes itself. Yeah, 3 days, yes. And online students can also become part of the answer writing program. You will have a portal access, and you'll be getting your question paper and answer script. So you write the answers, you take a printout, you write the answers, and you upload the scanned document, the scanned copy of your answer script, and they will be digitally evaluated, and you will get response online for your answers as well.
And we'll be giving model answer also for that.
Yes, of course. All questions we ask in the test, for everything you will be getting model answers, and all previous year questions will be discussed in the classes.
I think
that is how you should prepare, even if you don't come here. Okay, even if you're doing it on your own, you should know your preparation is incomplete if you have not done previous year questions. खुद भी तैयारी करनी है तो ऐसे ही करो. Previous year questions हमेशा साथ में रखो. Then only you'll be able to do it comprehensively. Otherwise, not.
See, this optional paper is a part of the main examination, And main examination is not only a test of your knowledge, but also a test of your writing skills. Okay, that's why we emphasize on PYQs as well as syllabus. And I think Mokshita Iqbal sir has already answered your confusion that whether I should choose PSIR or anthropology when I have an equal interest.
टॉस कर लो फिर ठीक है if you have equal interest तो अब क्या ही कह सकते हैं ठीक है both are very good optional papers, both have a high success rate and you are interested also in both. There are sir will let you know PubEd and PSIR differences
Now,
and
PubEd
similarities.
is basically about administration and PSIR goes beyond administration. Okay. Indian context, but point I told you that if you compare the overlinkage of or linkages with the GS part, you'll find that as compared to PubEd, PSIR will have more. As I told you, philosophical, we discussed international politics also, that will definitely help you. You do not study international politics in PubEd in that sense. And the access to the portal will be for 2-year students, I think it is till they appear in mains next year. Okay, so that you have access to that portal.
And PubEd doesn't have any IR. PubEd will have no chapters on IR. And also, this Jyoti has asked this question, so many of you may have that doubt. If you do not have a humanities background and you are skeptical that how can I do PSIR, I do not have a humanities background, that would not be a problem at all, because the way we will help you learn the subject, irrespective of whatever academic background you have, you'll be able to grasp the subject. Even if you have a sciences background, that is also your strength. You have a more logical mind, more receptive and grasping mind, and you are able to grasp easily PSIR topics also. Very easily students are able to do that. That should not be a problem at all.
And keep in mind, we try to keep our classes interactive. It's not only one way flow that, Pandit ji has come and told the story, and whatever is said in Sanskrit shloka is not understandable. We try to keep it interactive so that you also learn. And keep in mind, you're here to learn as well as unlearn. Both things are important. Now, if you want to appear in 2027, I told you this is the right time to join, because next year you will be getting time for revision of the optional as well as coverage of your GS paper also.
Practice. That's what, when you start writing, you will first few tests, you'll write very bad answers. And then we give you detailed feedback. These are the mistakes you are making. These are the places where you have to improve, and also personal guidance. And then you start, and also model answers. Then you start comparing it. That's what I write. This is the model answer. This is the feedback I have got. And then you start improving. The only way to improve answer writing is practice. And we will help you practice. There is no other way to improve. And of course, there will be an answer writing workshop. We'll let you know how to structure the answer and everything. But then again, with practice only, you improve. And I'll tell you an experience. What has been happening in the previous batches. We start with the batch. We start having tests. The first test, 80 to 90% of students are writing it. Then the number starts declining. Initially, there's a lot of enthusiasm among the students. Oh, yeah, karna hai, sir, likhenge, kab hai test. But then as we move on, because in this exam, why I'm telling this example is that in this exam, if you want to succeed, what is required is consistency. So as the time we are approaching the end of the course, only 20% of the students are writing the tests. And those are the only 20% who have been able to benefit and improve, because they wrote all the tests. So they were able to improve. And by the time they reach the last point of the course, they're already ready products. Now they're exam ready. And the ones who procrastinated, did not write, did not avail the facility, then they will not benefit. And then I've been getting messages from old students, sir, during the course I did not write. Can I write now? Okay, so I feel bad for such students. This is typical case of procrastination. And even if you get the chance now to write, again you will procrastinate.
Exactly.
So you have to do it right then, there, and have consistency, dedication, and then guaranteed you will benefit. If you write all the tests, your answer writing abilities will definitely improve.
Now, Shatabdi Hazarika is asking that shall we be getting material by post? We do not send material by post. Whatever material it is uploaded on the portal, you can download and either study the soft copy or either take the printout.
why we not able to send by post is that the nature of the subject is dynamic. So we do not prepare material in advance and bind it and send it to you, because it's dynamic. So on a class basis we give you handouts so that we can incorporate as much current developments as we can. So on a class basis we give handouts. On a daily class basis we can't send couriers. That's why you will have to download it from the portal and take a printout on a daily basis. That's how we do it, because of the dynamic nature of the subject. Okay, anything else?
Current changes in policies will also be updated. Yes, as Iqbal sir told you, we will be giving you latest notes. Okay.
Any other doubts on you? If you have anything else you'd like to ask? Yes. Average score or a score which will get you selected? The score which you get you selected, if you score anything above 270, there's a very high possibility you will be in the list. If you score above 300, you will be in the first 100. And students, good students, the ones who have prepared sincerely, our students, they've been easily getting 260 to 270. If they put in more hard work, then they also get 300. Okay.
Now, the date of commencement of the course is 7th of July. You can check the details on the website of the institute also. And another batch will be starting, yes, that will be in September 2025. But as I told you, if you want to have an early bird advantage, if you're appearing next year, join this batch.
Any more doubts, students? Any more queries you have? No, once you have the material, nothing else would be required.
The books, these materials have been prepared from those standard books.
So from the standard books only. All the good books we have been able to prepare notes from that. And that notes will be given to you. Nothing else would be required. It will be the class material would be much, much more than sufficient. In fact, at the end of the course, you would think that even class material is more than what you would like to read. If you are able to read all the class materials, study materials, that would be more than sufficient for you. Multiple revisions you'll have to do of the class study material given to you in the classes.
See,
that will be more than sufficient.
Thumb rule for the success is, it is better to read one good material 10 times rather than reading 10 good material one time.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
In civil services, you don't have to read multiple books. You have to read one particular material multiple times. Don't multiply your resources. Try and reduce your resources. That is what is required. And if you're coming here, so you are here for help. And we give you help by sharing those notes with you.
Online students will get their feedback online only. The way offline students will be getting it offline, you'll be getting it. The evaluated answer scripts with detailed feedback will be uploaded online on your portal, which you can access.
Digitally, your copies will be evaluated and sent to online students. You'll get the feedback online.
Yes, you can begin with NCERT for your understanding or for a comfort. Also, you can go through 11th and 12th NCERT.
Yes.
The political theory, Indian constitution, as well as world history.
There are 3 NCERTs. If you want to start with the course, you still have 7 to 8 days. Finish those 3 NCERTs. I'm not saying you would get any questions in the optional paper from NCERTs. But if you read the NCERT, then you already have a particular base and it's easy for you to grasp topics. The class of 3, one is called political theory. Indian Constitution at work, and then you have one NCERT on international relations, world politics.
You may have studied in your school days also. That
plus 1, plus 2 NCERTs. So just 3 NCERTs, very easy books. You can easily read. So try and read that before you come to the classes. That would give you a necessary foundation.
Yes, if you want to interact, you can put your questions online the way you are asking now. We have a Telegram group also, where all the students enrolled are there. And if any issues crops up, we take care of it. Timing is 11 to 1:30.
So any more doubts, students, you have?
Yes. You should read it even after you are a humanities student.
Even if you're a humanities student, that is your strength, but don't get overconfident. Okay, never ask this question that I'm from humanities, so मुझे ये पढ़ना है. हाँ, पढ़ना है, सब कुछ पढ़ना है. Even if you have a humanities background, you have to do everything what we say. Don't get overconfident. Don't make your strength your weakness. Okay.
So timing of the class is from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Anything else, students? Clear to all of you? So it was lovely interacting with all of you. I hope you benefited from this session, and all the best for your future. God bless you. God bless you, students. Thank you so much. Thank you, online students. Thank you.
Thank you.